Big Ray's Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know who I am. I am the Mark of the Masses, the man with a plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some WWE Royal Rumble 2015 today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by, on Twitter, at YouGotTheShow, our correspondent here at OneWrestling.com, Mr. Old School himself, Mr. Back in the Day himself, Bill Schuyler, and we are also joined by the host of the PW Hustle, the Pro Wrestling Hustle. You can find it on iTunes and also on Podbeam. And also, he also does Old School. Well, One Wrestling goes old school with Bill Schuyler. We're talking about Mr. Billy Ray Valentine. Follow him on Twitter at Billy Ray Hustle. Gentlemen, how are you both doing?
What's going on, Big Ray? Ready for the Royal Rumble on Sunday. It's my favorite time of the year. I think this is the biggest pay-per-view next to WrestleMania. I enjoy it more because of the Rumble gimmick match. I'm ready for it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think it. What about you, Bill?
I'm the same thing. Royal Rumble is always the best. In my opinion, it takes you for the whole. It's now or never. It's the road to WrestleMania begins this Sunday night, and everything and anything it's going to be for the rest of the year comes on Sunday night. So I'm hoping for big things. I'm hoping for changes, because Lord knows that WWE needs a lot of changes right now. If they haven't seen that through watching New Japan and even paying attention to their own product down at NXT, the major SmackDown and Raw, they know it's the writing's on the wall. They got to change with the times, or their times are going to pass them by.
All right, I agree with you. Now, before we actually begin this prediction show, again, this is a prediction show for the Royal Rumble 2015. I want to give a quick shout out to Andre Corbeil, who is in the hospital. He should be getting better. He should be getting out very, very soon. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, send your prayers, send your well wishes to Andre Corbeil. Follow him at Andre_Corbeil, and also the Godfather himself, Bill Apter, at Apter One Wrestling, and of course us here at One Wrestling. So now, as we proceed, I'm looking at this match card, and this is in my opinion, a very, very, very weak match card. And actually, I'm actually surprised that the pre-show is always a relatively weak match, but geez, man. All right, we're going to start the show off with the New Day. Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods versus Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and Adam Rose. I'm going to throw it to you really quickly. Billy Ray Valentine, what do you think of this match, and what's going to happen?
I don't know why it's on the card, man. You know, you said that a lot of this stuff is really weak, and it is. It's a lot of filler. I understand they got to fill 3 hours worth of TV, man, but, I mean, this is just becoming – I don't know how you want to – I mean, I know they're selling this – I don't know if you call it a pay-per-view anymore. Whatever it is, they're selling it on the main event and on the Rumble itself. But, I mean, the packaging around it is pretty bad, man, at least on paper. This could be a good match because, you know, Cesaro's the man and Tyson Kidd is the man, and Adam Rose can wrestle. So this could be a decent match. Let's see what they do with the New Day. You know what we can hope for in this match? That the New Day actually turns, and maybe they do something with the New Day finally, besides whatever the hell they've been doing, whatever you want to call it. They can turn heel and do something ridiculously heelish, and it'll be worth watching. Hopefully we get that out of this.
All right, Bill Schuyler.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with that. The New Day was a faction that when it first popped out, I was like, thank God. They're going to push these guys. They're going to make them heels. They came in like that, and then overnight they became watered-down, weak-ass faces that just they didn't know what to do with them. I'm not been unhappy with them because Kofi, outstanding mid-card wrestler. Xavier Woods, I've been a fan of since back in TNA days. And Big E is an outstanding big man. And the three of these guys together are just what you do when you got guys that you can't get as a singles push. Put them on a team, let them tear it up. They're not doing that. Why they have them going against Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and Adam Rose, I don't know. If I was going to pick some guys, Cesaro, one, belongs on the main event. When I say main event, I mean on the main roster, not in an opening slot like this. Mm-hmm. Tyson Kidd is still in NXT. This would have been a prime time example to bring up three guys out of NXT that you wanted to test the waters on and see if they were ready. Would the crowd go for them? You know, I'm not saying to bring the big guys out there yet. You don't want Sami Zayn coming up yet. It's too soon. But, you know, I just don't get why these three guys would even be together on a team. The match will be great. Cesaro is going to steal the show. Tyson Kidd is always stealing the show because the kid's got a lot of skill. And hopefully Rose maybe will shock some people, and maybe they'll give him a real gimmick out of this. And it'll come through. Me, I'm going to go and say New Day wins this hands down, just because I think it's time that they need a push. The main roster needs a faction that's worth a shit. And I think the New Day could be that team.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I agree. Really quickly, Billy Ray, what's your who do you think is going to win this match before I jump into me?
I think I don't care who's going to win this match. But if I have to choose, if I have a gun to my head, man, I'm going to get Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and Adam Rose to win the match. And,
really?
Yeah, and hopefully that sparks some type of anger in the New Day, and maybe they'll turn heel, which would be great. I would love that. So that's my pick.
All right. Well, first and foremost, my opinion on the New Day is very similar to what you guys are basically saying. That, you know, and I've been saying this in every podcast, every video I've done for the last few weeks or months or whatever. I think these guys should have been heel coming up. I thought Xavier Woods was a perfect mouthpiece for the faction. Obviously, you have Big E. I was going to say Big E Langston, but you have Big E, who is the power, and he's extremely athletic. The guy is charismatic, but now they have him sweating. That's his gimmick, which is ridiculous.
Sweating.
And then we have, Kofi Kingston, who is just basically a phenomenon in the ring. Now, I am going to disagree with you, Billy Ray, and I'm going to agree with Bill Schuyler. I think that the New Day will come out on top. I think they will win this match. But it would be great if they actually did something. Maybe they become extremely frustrated. Maybe they cut a corner. Maybe they do something to even if they don't turn full heel, maybe they do something to kind of, let's just say,
hint at it.
To hint or allude to the fact that these guys are turning a new leaf, let's just say, for the negative. And again, you know, being a bad guy sometimes is good. And I think for these three guys, it's about time. I mean, they've all been faces for quite some time. It didn't work. Apparently, this gimmick was supposed to be a real thing. They were never intended, believe it or not, to be heels. And they came in as straight up baby faces. And this is something that was from, I would see this in the 80s or maybe the early 90s working, but not now. So unless they do something different, man, I don't know. What's up, Bill?
I see, and this was from day one, and there was comparisons being at it because they both came out. Impact did it first with MVP's group, that faction there, and this one, of course. And I think now with WWE pays attention to their competition, whether they believe it or not. And I believe now with the new Beatdown Clan in Impact, that's already, fans are all over it. Be a perfect time for WWE to get a heel faction, a different heel faction. It's got nothing to do with the Authority, nothing to do with anybody else, because they stand on their own, by their own, and they don't need anybody else because they've relied on people their whole career to be, Kofi's always had to have a tag team partner. Rose has had to have everything from a bunny to, he was different gimmicks he had when he was in NXT. And Big E Langston, they pushed too quick, too soon. But he's a big guy, and hits a guy that deserves to have gold again. And I think he's a guy that's going to be around for the long haul for WWE. And I think his heels is the perfect thing for them. They need heels, real heels, not cowardly, wimpy, simpy, punk-ass heels in the WWE. I want to see monster heels that just come in and just kick ass.
Okay.
Don't ask questions. Don't apologize. They don't run away. They just leave you where you lay, and on they go.
All right, can you close this out, Billy Ray?
That's it, man. I said,
right.
you know, New Day needs to. We need a facelift for the New Day, and you know, Malcolm Xavier Woods is the greatest. Like he'd be a hell of a mouthpiece, acting as Malcolm X or whatever you want to call him. But you know, ultimately, as far as the Royal Rumble goes, this is a side note. You know what I mean? It's something like I don't even really want to watch, to be honest with you.
All right, so then we'll move on to a match that I really don't care about at all, and I'm going to just run through this. I'm going to have Paige and Natalya versus the Bella Twins, and there is no Divas title on the line. The Divas champion is not in this match. Oh, actually, she is in this match, but nobody cares. And it's just a match that I don't care. So I'm just going to say that the Bella Twins will go over in this match for no other reason than the fact that, well, you know what?
Change that.
Let me think of something. Now, Natalya has been obviously hanging out with her husband, right, for some time, and her husband has done a full heel turn. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if Natalya turns on Paige, and then you know, out of jealousy, maybe Paige gets the pin, maybe Natalya hits a finisher and Paige gets the pin somehow, and maybe something happens where, I don't know. I still see the Bella Twins winning. I think Paige and Natalya actually get at each other, because Paige is a very, let's just say she's very green, but she's very good. And Natalya, I think her and Natalya working together would be excellent. And I think it's time for Natalya to actually make that full heel turn. That would also be great. I mean, this could potentially be a lot of fun. I don't care about it, but maybe something good will come out of it. Bill Schuyler?
I have been waiting for Natty to turn heel for years. I mean, you know, Jim Neidhart's her old man, and nobody was more ruthless and brutal when he was a bad guy. And even when he was a face, he was ruthless and kicked your ass. I would love to see Natty. Again, the Bellas are going to win this. There's just no doubt in my mind because of politics involved. I would like to see that when the match is over, you just get an old school that Natty just turns on and just beats Paige from pillar to post for losing the match for, have her cause the pinfall, whatever it is, and have a feud start with Natty and Paige. I would go for that. And that would allow Paige to have somebody with some experience to work with her. That's not there's no gold involved, so you don't have that pressure. And, you know, get something going. Natty's a dyed-in-the-wool WWE star. She's been since day one. She's faithful. And I think it's time they throw her a bone and let her actually accomplish something and be more than just now more than just Tyson Kidd's wife.
Billy Ray?
I think it'd be nice if Brie Bella actually paid off a storyline that they gave us a while ago, and that they completely decided to Jedi mind trick the audience and say it didn't exist. I think it'd be nice if Brie Bella actually turned on her sister for once. I've been setting you up this entire time because you were so bad to me for a year and made me your slave. That'd be nice, right? Or maybe have Natty Neidhart and Paige win. You know, if you've been watching Total Divas, which I don't, but I happen to know this stuff anyway. I watch Total Divas.
Sure, you don't watch.
Yeah, you watch it.
Yeah, I watch it all the time. So they had a whole thing because Paige licks Natty Neidhart. That's the storyline. And Natty gets pissed off. Why are you licking me? So maybe we can revisit that or something. I don't know. Make this match a little bit interesting.
Little HLA.
Paige and Natty can really wrestle. You know, so I would rather see them in a singles match than see this tag match, even though Nikki's not that awful anymore. It may be entertaining. I am hoping for yet another turn from Brie Bella and maybe spark my interest that way. I'm taking the opposite. I'm going to take Paige and Natty Neidhart to win.
All right, so Lou, you got Paige and Natty Neidhart. Bill Schuyler has
I'm going with the
Bella Twins, and I'm also going with the Bella Twins. Let's move on to the tag team title match, in a match that I am so tired of seeing on television. They've done every single singles mixed. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay versus the Miz and Damien Mizdow. Now, Damien Mizdow being the bright spot of this feud, I guess, but. You know, are they going to continue to hot potato the World Tag Team titles? Are the Miz and Mizdow finally going to break up in this pay-per-view? Is this the beginning of the end for Mizdow and the Miz? I can see Damien Mizdow and the Miz actually getting into a little bit of a tiff, which would have them lose the match. I think Jimmy and Jay actually go over, and I believe this tiff will actually move its way into the Royal Rumble, where I see Mizdow maybe eliminating the Miz himself during this match, which would lead into a breakup, which would work its way into possibly a match going into WrestleMania. So this is my opinion. Billy Ray, what do you think, buddy?
And wouldn't Mizdow have to eliminate himself in the process since he is this guy's stunt double?
Well, he doesn't do it. That's the thing. Like he's just done. After this tag team title match, he's done. He's done with that.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Actually, man, you know, Usos win this match, and then they're going to start the breakup of these two guys. It's been nice while it lasted, but it's going to run its course. It's better to nip it in the ass now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill?
It was entertaining while it was. It was fun. It was something different that I've never seen before in wrestling. So, I mean, I'll give it to him for that. But, yeah, I think this would be the end of Mizdow. I don't see them getting the titles. And I think finally this guy gets out of the Miz's shadow and everybody else's, because this is a talented guy that's, for whatever reason, wound up in the house and got given their most ridiculous gimmicks. But you know what? He stayed with it. He didn't complain. Yeah, it's time for Mizdow to break up. Damien Sandow has been through the ringer. He's paid his dues. Whatever problems he had backstage, he stayed solid. He did what he had to do. The breakup is here, and on he goes, and this is the end. And it'll be interesting to see how they wind up canceling each other out in the Rumble. It should be entertaining.
All right, so I think we're all in agreement that the Usos are going to win this match, right?
Who's so crazy, Michael? Who's so crazy?
Who's so crazy?
That'd be awesome.
All right, so yeah, no, not really. All right, so now we're going to move on to a match that I thought would be the pre-show. Again, I'm going by what WWE.com has listed here in the match order. And this is the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg Jesse James and the Bad A Billy Gunn versus the Ascension, Konnor and Viktor, a.k.a. I guess a Jace Demolition. You know what I'm talking about there. So that's Demolition of Jace. So, all right, I'm going to ask you, Bill Schuyler, really quickly, what's your opinion on this match and who goes over?
Flat out, no doubt in my mind, the Ascension is going to win this. They have to. They've been pushing them. To have them come in and lose to the New Age Outlaws, I think, would be pointless. I think it'll be a great match. I think Billy and Road Dogg will pull it off, do everything they can under the sun, but the Ascension, being the monster villains that they're supposed to be, will crush the New Age Outlaws.
Crush, also a member of Demolition. Go ahead, Billy Ray.
I got a question for both of you. Did you know that the Ascension was born and bred to rip and shred? Did you guys know that?
That is what I think Konnor. Didn't Konnor say that? Or
I don't know which one said it. It's just the truth. They were born and bred to rip and shred. Did you know that they are the New Age Demolition? This is what these guys are. Okay, they win. They beat the New Age Outlaws. And then hopefully Team 3D comes out and obliterates them. Wouldn't that be nice? The Dudley Boys, who are rumored to come back to the Royal Rumble, to come back to the WWE, one night or extended. Don't care. I'd love to see it happen so they can, you know, beat the crap out of the Ascension. That'd be nice. I'd like to see that.
So who goes over here?
The Ascension, bro. I mean, if the Ascension does not go over, man, what was the reason to bring these guys up to the main roster?
I don't know. And every time I see them on television, I keep thinking the same thing. What is the reason to bring them up to the main roster? They lost a lot of steam when they lost to the Lucha Dragons in NXT, and honestly, I mean, they just don't fit the bill of a monster tag team. One of the guys, like I said, I can't tell which one is which. Konnor's the big guy.
Konnor's a big guy. Viktor was the one that was replaced by Brahm was the original one.
I think Brahm would have been an amazing.
Brahm is great.
He would have been an amazing addition. I don't know why they replaced a big, athletic, charismatic English with an English accent, nonetheless, which gave him a nice little edge, and they replaced him with, in my opinion, a mediocre in-ring talent that's maybe no bigger than most of the referees. And I say this with all due respect. I'm just talking as a fan, as a wrestling mark. I think this group is going to be, and we said it on the PW Hustle the other night. I said it also that I believe Team 3D will be coming in. Again, this is not a solid. This is just a rumor. And I think it would be great. I think it would be a lot of fun. Maybe they beat a bunch of legendary tag teams as we move along. So, we'll see.
It would be interesting.
That would be a cool gimmick for them, man. They could be the tag team legend killers. We can bring back everyone. There's tons of bring back Demolition. They're still around, and they can kill them. That would be a way to get this tag team over. I mean, I think they've done a really bad job at doing anything with the Ascension. Not that the Ascension gives them much to go on. So anyway,
well, all right. So I'm gonna actually, the Ascension definitely goes over. But I do think that they get their behinds handed to them. And you know what? Man, don't be surprised if it's some type of double disqualification and that they drag this on to the next pay-per-view, and then we see. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Anyway, I'm doing all the gimmick songs. I'm talking about Team 3D, or not Team 3D. They would be the Dudley Boys.
They would be the Dudleys.
They would be the Dudley Boys. And I got to tell you something. I would be so excited to see Bully Ray, who has been one of the best heels in the wrestling business over the last year, back in the WWE ring, along with his brother Devon. Oh, my brother, testify. So let's move on. Now, we have... Now, the way they have this listed here, they have the WWE World Heavyweight title match prior to the Royal Rumble. So we're going to go with that. And we're going to go with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Brock Lesnar, the World Heavyweight Champion, one of the most dominant. He hasn't been wrestling. He doesn't wrestle every single week. It's reminiscent of Hulk Hogan back in the 80s, where you didn't see him. You saw him maybe once a month, once every 2 months. I would get excited when I saw Hulk Hogan even do an interview on Superstars of Wrestling. I mean, again, this is my opinion. And we have Brock Lesnar, who is special. I don't care if he wrestles 3 matches a year. This guy is a legitimate champion. When he walks out, when you hear that music, turn, the whole mood changes. I don't care what anybody says, but he will face Mr. Hold on, let me just give this belt a spin there. If you can see that, you can't see me. John Cena, Superman himself, versus the future of the business, one of the best heels in wrestling today. A young talent, amazing in the ring, just great on the mic. He is the total package. I'm talking about Seth Rollins.
Lex Luger?
Lex Luger, yeah, Lex Luger, and I don't think so. Billy Ray, I'm going to start with you.
Hey, this is the reason why I watch the Royal Rumble. Forget everything else. All I want to see is Brock Lesnar, and all I want to see is the main Rumble match. But sticking to Brock, right? Like you said, he's a special attraction. Let's run down what he did. He got PWI Wrestler of the Year, by the way. A lot of people were pissed off at that, right? He beat The Big Show at the Royal Rumble last year, right? Then he beat and took the streak from The Undertaker. Then he obliterated John Cena's 16 German suplexes to the back of the neck.
Yep.
Okay? And then, they tried to pull one over on him. We're not going to talk about that one, okay? But Brock Lesnar is the most dominant heavyweight champion we've seen in recent times. Just the way it is, whether you like it or not. Okay, so we got Seth Rollins, and I think the reason that they've put Seth Rollins in this match is not for Brock Lesnar. It's to protect John Cena.
Ooh.
Okay? They don't want Brock Lesnar going over on John Cena clean again, period. You know, and I understand that. So you bring in Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins provides that extra spark to the match because you don't know if he's going to cash in afterwards or whatever. But he's going to take the clean pin. Someone's going to pin Seth Rollins in this match.
Sure.
I think it's going to be Brock. It should be Brock. It should be Brock, okay? Because the whole storyline from taking the Undertaker streak, that's what's important, okay? And taking the Undertaker streak just to give it to John Cena, that's not good. I just don't. And you know, I can't agree with that. So it has to be Brock. Brock has to go to WrestleMania, and Brock has to defend at WrestleMania. So I pick him to win. I pick Brock to win.
Okay. Bill?
While I agree that Brock is the one of the greatest champions of all time in modern history, let's put it that way anyway, he is a complete package. He is a monster. He's a beast. Contractually, things are a little up in the air with Brock. They're already made his somewhat of a face turn. He went over this week, which is always bad news when you're going into the pay-per-view.
That is very true.
Because that tends to mean a lot of times you wind up losing.
Yep.
I think no matter what happens in this match, whoever gets pinned, Seth Rollins is going to cash in, and he will be your champion at the end of the night. And then I will pick who we'll let that go when we get to our Rumble pick. But I have my idea for the Rumble might be a lot different than other people's. But I see Seth Rollins will be your WWE champion at the end of this match.
I am going to agree with Bill Schuyler. Now, I flip-flopped 1,000 times on this. And I said, how is Hulk Hogan going to go over in this match? No, I'm kidding. No, the truth be told. Now, you know, I didn't tell Lou this. I'm sorry, Billy Ray Valentine. I know him as Lewis. He's my friend for almost 15 years. Bill Schuyler, I didn't tell you guys this, but I was on the phone yesterday when I was hanging out with my lovely Jennifer, and I was speaking to a gentleman, and I cannot say his name. He is just got friends in the WWE, so I don't want to. Again, this is all allegedly. This is rumors, but I kind of believe this guy because everything he tells me is like right on the money. So anyway. Negotiations apparently, maybe, from what I'm hearing, are going very well with Brock Lesnar and the WWE. The whole thing with him going back to the UFC is a distinct possibility, but we're talking now 70-30 Brock Lesnar staying with the WWE, unless the UFC blows him away. Now, what I'm understanding again is that it's not going to be a schedule that he has now. He would make more TV appearances. We'd probably see him maybe twice a month on television, and then once on the pay-per-view. Doesn't mean he's going to wrestle twice a month, but you know, two appearances and one on the pay-per-view. I believe it will be for a year, and then with an option to extend that contract, and I believe it's for a very, very lucrative sum. So again, this is all hearsay. This is from allegedly. I want to protect OneWrestling.com because I don't want to, say it as gospel. But all I'm saying is that the person I spoke to has a very, very, very close contact with the WWE, and I'll tell you guys who it is off air. So I flip-flop with this a lot, but I agree. I think John Cena gets the pin on Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar goes bananas, goes crazy, loses his mind that he lost the title without getting pinned. Comes in as John Cena is celebrating, F5s him, F5s him, F5s him, puts him in the Kimura. Everybody forgets he got the Kimura, breaks his arm possibly. And then Seth Rollins, snivelly little Seth Rollins, sees what's going on. You can see him peeking out from behind the apron. I don't know if you guys could see me behind the camera. And he sneaks in, cashes in the Money in the Bank, boom. Gets the pin before Brock Lesnar runs back to the ring to try to stop it, which would set up a possible next pay-per-view match between Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. This is what I think may happen. Now, also, I kind of feel that the allegiance between Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar may soon come to an end. I've been saying this for some time. I think Brock Lesnar, he's gotten much better on the mic, baby. I don't know if you heard those Lou, you were talking about that in the PW Hustle. Yeah, you know, but he's gotten
fight, baby.
He's gotten so damn good on the mic, and he doesn't even need to talk. He's that damn intimidating. I understand why he has Paul Heyman now. Paul Heyman is an opportunist. Paul Heyman is a sneaky son of a gun. I see Paul Heyman maybe perhaps turning also on Brock Lesnar, maybe throwing the suitcase in and kind of going over Brock Lesnar's head and kind of lands in the hands of Seth Rollins. Anything could happen, but at the end of the day, and I'm being long-winded, I believe Seth Rollins will at the end of the night be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and our friend the Professor Quintana, you can follow him at PROF. What is it? What's his Twitter handle there?
It's Prof PW Hustle.
No, you're right. It's PROF PW Hustle. He stated that he felt that Seth Rollins carrying around, and I will give you the full credit for this, Mr. Quintana, the Professor. He's been carrying around that briefcase, which is the equivalent of this shiny gold World Heavyweight Champion. He calls him the uncrowned World Heavyweight Champion. I believe Seth Rollins goes over. Bill Schuyler believes Seth Rollins goes over. And Billy Ray Valentine, you believe that?
I believe Brock Lesnar, man. I mean, listen, the scenario you just laid out is a very good one, okay? And I wouldn't be, you know what? I would be opposed to seeing it, okay? Because ultimately, this all stems back to the Undertaker streak. And you can give me the argument that it doesn't hurt Brock Lesnar because he wouldn't be getting pinned. You know what I mean? But it cheapens it. It cheapens it for the next guy at WrestleMania. Okay, so whoever it is, I'm sorry, man. He walks into WrestleMania against Roman Reigns or whoever he has to fight. Because I'm assuming he's going to be fighting Roman Reigns at WrestleMania without with or without that title. I mean, without that title, he's going to be fighting Roman Reigns to put him over.
You know what I find it?
You're gonna have to excuse me. I have my son here, Aiden James, who wants to stick his hand in the camera.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yes, he's being silly. Anyway, so as you were saying,
it would cheapen the Undertaker situation if the Undertaker was to have wrestled this WrestleMania, and I don't believe he's going to be there this year. And
no, listen, Bill.
People already they're not even talking about the Undertaker anymore.
No,
and it's sad but true.
I think the reason it cheapens it is because Brock Lesnar beat him. Okay, so it's not about the Undertaker; it's about Brock Lesnar. Somebody needs to beat Brock Lesnar, and I think that the whole plan was for someone to beat Brock Lesnar for that title at WrestleMania. That's the plan, or that was the plan anyway. They may have changed it. WWE, Vince McMahon is all over the place. And that very well can happen with Seth Rollins Sunday night at the Rumble. I see how that can happen, and it's still kind of protecting Brock Lesnar. But ideally, okay, I think, whether he's re-signing or not, it shouldn't matter. He was dropping that belt at WrestleMania, whether he re-signed or not. So now if he re-signs, if he does resign, the best thing to do is actually keep the belt on him. You keep the belt on him, you know, and then he goes on to the next. I mean, continues to be dominant, and then he can really put somebody over. But I mean, we'll talk about that when we talk about the Royal Rumble. That's not what I want to happen. But ultimately, he was going to drop it at WrestleMania. That was the plan, and I just want to see that to fruition. Be it that they took away the Taker streak, which was the most important thing in professional wrestling for so many years.
Without a doubt.
Pay it off. You know what I mean? With Seth Rollins taking it just like that, I don't think it pays it off.
But don't you think Seth Rollins is it? You don't think he's ready to hold that title?
Oh yeah, no. Seth, listen.
I mean,
I can give you my whole outlook for WrestleMania, and I think he gets that title this year for sure. Okay, I think he might get it at WrestleMania. Okay, or the Raw after WrestleMania.
I think he drops it at WrestleMania, and I'll explain to you later.
I just hope he doesn't get it now. If he gets it now, yeah, he'll drop it at WrestleMania. But I just think it's a lesser match than what the main event should be. Brock Lesnar versus someone winning the Royal Rumble, who I'll talk about during the Royal Rumble.
I'm going to make a statement really quickly, and I may get heat for it, maybe not.
Cheap heat?
Not Cheap Heat, not with Peter Rosenberg.
Cheap Heat, Jace?
No, this show is not Cheap Heat, Jace. Again, but let me just tell you right now, I have not been this excited to watch a wrestler in the ring since I watched the who's that guy that from New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Intercontinental
Nakamura?
No, the other guy that the ring announcer always says, can you say his name? Something Kotai?
Ibushi Kota.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. But
Kota Ibushi.
But I haven't, I don't know why I just went off on that tangent, but honestly, you know who this guy reminds me of?
Oh.
I'm going to get heat for this.
Don't
whatever.
say. Oh, go ahead.
Seth Rollins. Now, I'm not saying well, you know what? He's great on the mic. He's an excellent heel. He was over as a babyface, and if he ever turned, I think he could be one of the biggest babyfaces in that company. He's athletic. He is he's not huge. This guy just has a presence about him, and when I say this, and this is with all due respect, because this is probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, WWE Hall of Famer. Ooh, yeah, dig it, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, yeah, dig it. This isn't going to be a cup of coffee for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, yeah, dig it. Seth Rollins is going to be the future of the business, yeah, dig it. I think Seth Rollins is a version, not just like, but a version of a modern day, a more athletic, with all due respect, because I love Macho Man. I think Macho Man could have done what Seth Rollins does now. It's just that wasn't the style they were wrestling. The Macho Man DVD, yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will.
Yeah, anyway, so, all right. So, this is what I see Seth Rollins potentially being. And I know the WWE is really, really focused on Roman Reigns. Let me cock my fist, suffering, succotash, and all this other silliness that Roman Reigns talks.
You know he has magic beans?
He does. He climbs beanstalks and fights
Magic
giants.
beans.
I mean, listen.
Oh, he got him.
Listen. Seth Rollins is the future of this business. He says it, and you know what's funny? I forgot what wrestler it was that always said, the Honky Tonk Man. The Honky Tonk Man said in a shoot interview that he would always say on camera, I'm the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. I'm the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. He said it enough that now to this day, even though if you don't think he was the greatest in the ring, people consider him to be if not the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. Seth Rollins continues to say, I am the future of this business. I am the future of this business. He is the future of this business. He's that damn good. So
hey, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Noel Gallagher from Oasis.
Sure, of course.
The British band that was awesome for a long time. He said one day, I mean, they kept calling themselves the greatest band in the world over and over and over and over again. And one day he just came out and said it in an interview. He's like, if I say it long enough, people will believe it.
Yeah.
They were the greatest band in the world. Hey, for at least a little while.
For a little while. So we're gonna recap really quickly before we get into the Royal Rumble. The pre-show, we have the New Day going over Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and Adam Rose. We have Paige and Natalya going over the Bella Twins, but Billy Ray Valentine has. Me and Bill Schuyler have the Bella Twins winning. Billy Ray Valentine has Paige and Natalya going over. Am I correct? We have the tag team title match. We all have the Usos going over Damien, Sandow, and Mizdow. We all have Viktor and Konnor, the Ascension, going over Road Dogg, Jesse James, and Badass Billy Gunn and New Age Outlaws. And then we kind of differ. I have Seth Rollins. Bill Schuyler has Seth Rollins, and you have Brock Lesnar. It's funny. No one here is picking John Cena. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to leave your comments here below at OneWrestling.com and YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. Please hit us on Twitter at OneWrestling. Hit me directly on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle. Bill Schuyler at You Got the Show. Bill Apter at After One Wrestling. Hell, send a freaking tweet to Andre Corbeil at Andre_Corbeil. Let him know what you think is going to happen. Nobody is picking John Cena. You wanted to say something, Billy Ray, before we move on?
No, that's what I was going to say, actually. And nobody picked John Cena for a reason, because he's not winning. He's not winning tonight, Sunday night. It's not happening. He's got other things on his plate at WrestleMania. Russian food or Bulgarian food.
Rusev.
I see you agree with that as well.
Rusev Butia. Rusev Machka. Yeah.
Okay, continue, bro.
Anyway, so now we're going to move on to the 30-man over-the-top battle royal known as the Royal Rumble, my favorite gimmick match of all. It is my favorite gimmick. Maybe my second favorite gimmick match of all time is probably a good old-fashioned steel cage match. But, my God, Billy Ray, it looks like you're itching to talk. So I'm going to let you start off, my friend.
I just love the Royal Rumble. I love the Royal Rumble. Even when I stopped watching wrestling after John Cena made Shawn Michaels tap out, because I did stop for a while, I still tuned in to watch the Royal Rumble because the Royal Rumble is just amazing. So, I mean, that sells itself to a wrestling fan. And I am very excited. I'm very excited to see it because there's 2 legit possibilities, a couple of other smaller possibilities. Actually, let me change that. 3 legit possibilities and a couple of other small possibilities.
I think 4.
And that's more than usual because last year everyone knew that Batista was going to win, plain and simple. You know, a couple of years ago, everyone knew that Alberto Del Rio was going to win.
Wait,
I mean,
Batista or Blue Tista? Or is it
Blue Tista?
Blue Tista?
He turned into Blue Tista after Boutista, which was before Batista. So it was Batista.
Very good.
That's the
blue,
chronologically.
The blue animal.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so, you know, man, I am very, very excited. You know, we got a possibility of a few people winning, and that is Roman Reigns, of course, the golden child, who was supposed to win if he didn't keep cutting promos about, beanstalks and suffering succotash. I think if he was better on a mic, he'd be the surefire pick right now, bar none, hands down. But he's not. So, therefore, Daniel Bryan coming back provides the WWE with an out. It gives them time to make Roman Reigns into something without having to propel him into a main event scenario, which he quite frankly cannot handle right now. Okay, so Daniel Bryan, and also there's Randy Orton, who Randy Orton hasn't been around in forever. And, you know, and I said this on the PW Hustle on the last episode, that I thought, you know, if I were booking the Royal Rumble, I would have saved Daniel Bryan and kept him out of it. Okay, I would have kept him out of television until the Royal Rumble. I would have kept Roman Reigns out until the Royal Rumble if I wanted them to win. But they've debuted them. They've wrestled several times. Takes away a little of the mystique. Randy Orton, nowhere to be found. He's going to get a massive pop if he is actually in the Royal Rumble match. Look for him to also insert himself into that world title match if he's not in the Royal Rumble match. And let's not forget about Sting for the world title match. Sting may play a part in that world title match. As a distraction, something might happen. Look for Sting to be there at the Rumble. I can't see Sting not showing up.
My head just blew up right now. What's the possibility that Sting would be in the Rumble?
Oh. I was thinking of that.
Nobody's thought of that.
I can't take credit for that.
Nobody's thought. Bill Schuyler, it looks like you're ready to go. What's your opinion?
Should I give you my pick?
No, we're gonna do it at the end. We'll do it at the end.
All right.
You know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. Billy Ray, what is your pick to win the Rumble? And then we'll move on to Bill Schuyler.
I think, okay, and I'm going with my heart, and I'm going with what's logical. Okay.
Doink.
Yes, Doink the Clown, of course.
Right.
But my second pick, if Doink doesn't win, will be Daniel Bryan, man. Daniel Bryan is he never lost the title. You want to repeat what happened last year at the Royal Rumble? No, you don't want to do that. This is Philadelphia, people. Okay? I mean, they don't play around over there. It's ECW country.
It's Will Smith country. Sorry.
We're going to disregard that. That never happened. All right, Daniel Bryan will win the Royal Rumble, or should win the Royal Rumble, setting up Bryan versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. That is the way it's supposed to be. It's the biggest money match. I'd love to see Bryan versus Rollins at WrestleMania. That would be great, okay? But ultimately, it's not as much of a draw as Bryan versus Brock. It's just not. You know, that's just the way it is. So Daniel Bryan will enter at number 1, run the gamut, and win. Wow. And it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to jump out of my couch.
All right.
Great. Bill Schuyler, you're next.
Go ahead, buddy.
I can't wait.
All right. First off, when it comes to Sting, there's no way Sting in my opinion, will be in the Royal Rumble. They're going to hold Sting. Like you were saying, some guys you need to hold back and not tarnish and, ruin it beforehand. Sting only has so much gas in the tank. And I think to have Sting go through all those guys, Sting is going to slowly be built up after the Rumble to his match, which I believe will be against Triple H. Is there a possibility that Triple H does some type of shenanigans at the Rumble and Sting comes down out of the rafters or does something to get involved to start that feud? Very possible. But as far as it comes to who's winning the Royal Rumble, I'm not going to say he's going to be the number one guy. Okay, but I'll tell you, to be number one means he would outshine Ric Flair.
No.
Because Ric Flair was number 3, and nobody's done it except for Rick in the top 5.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
Shawn Michaels won it at number 1,
Rey
and Rey
Mysterio.
Mysterio won it at number 1.
My bag, I forgot.
But regardless of that, they still don't duplicate the performance that Ric Flair put together.
That was the greatest match Ric Flair, I think, gimmick match he ever had. Yeah,
ever. Go ahead.
This is Philadelphia. This is. You say it's ECW country, but it's also Ring of Honor country. And 2 of the greatest Ring of Honor champions in the history of that company was the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and one Tyler Black. Tyler Black, one of the greatest Ring of Honor champions, going up against, again, one of the greatest Ring of Honor champions, Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon. This will be a scientific match, the kind not seen in ages in the WWE. That will be your main event for WrestleMania, and I would love to see that to either be an Iron Man match, at the least 2 out of 3 falls. But those guys should bring the house down. And it being WrestleMania, I would expect that you're going to have 3 main events out of that. You're going to have Cena versus the Russian. That's going to be in there. It is. There's no doubt. And whoever they decide to have Brock in his feud with, and you're going to have Sting against Triple H. It's going to be a heck of a WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
It's very well could be the best WrestleMania we've seen in some time, to the point where they don't have to have any weak matches to go. It can be on fire from the pre-show straight through. But, again, we're talking Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan wins this hand down, or we riot. You know what I mean? And I just can't see – I cannot see in the city of Philadelphia – with the wrestling, other than Baltimore, Philadelphia is just one of those wrestling towns. They're wrestling fans. They want real wrestlers. They don't want the cartoon. They don't want the garbage gimmicks. They want guys that can just pour it on. And nobody deserves that more than Bryan. He got robbed once legitimately when they took it from him from Sheamus. He made his way back through all the garbage they put him through, won the title, and then through injuries, he loses it again, but never was pinned for it. He deserves the title. He walks out of WrestleMania as the WWE champion without a doubt.
I am going to give you my opinion. I had 4 guys who I thought were legitimate shots at winning this thing. Number 4. I'm gonna rank him. Number 4 is Roman Reigns.
Jeez,
I don't think the WWE is as high on Roman Reigns as we all believe they are. I think they're trying.
Not anymore.
I think they're trying, but I think he dropped the ball. I think he's a good talent. I think he's athletic. I think they need to let him go on the mic, but that's my opinion. He's too green. My number 3 choice is Bray Wyatt.
Jeez.
I think Bray Wyatt would be an excellent contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, but the reason why Bray Wyatt is not going to win is because they are building him in a feud with The Undertaker.
Yes.
Rest in peace. My number 2 is Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton is one of the most likely people to surprise and win the Royal Rumble. And if Seth Rollins wins the title, like I believe he will, I believe Randy Orton could be a viable contender. And it's a fresh match. Have we seen Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins?
I know they teased that.
Yeah, I don't think we got a full feud. No.
Yeah,
never happened.
Mhm.
So my number one, easily, this is a guy that I haven't flip-flopped on yet. He's probably one of the most athletic, charismatic wrestlers on the roster, and I'm talking obviously about Fandango. I think Fandango will be the WWE and World Heavyweight Champion and dance his way. No, I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, and nothing for nothing. That feud begins at the Royal Rumble with the surprise entrance of the Disco Inferno.
Disco Fever, yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway, I hope Jennifer never watches this video. So it's gonna be Danny O'Brien. I think Danny O'Brien finally wins the Royal Rumble again. I think he wins the Royal Rumble. I do think, as Lou said, Billy Ray, I think he comes in, if not 1, 2, 3, he's gonna come in at a very, very low number. Danny O'Brien has been on the shelf for a long time, dude. He's fresh and ready to go. He's fully healed, from what we understand. He's been wrestling matches on SmackDown. Like I said, my only thing is that that Randy Orton, that little Randy Orton Viper shadow in the background is really, really making me question that. But I will not flip-flop. I say yes to Danny O'Brien winning the Rumble. Yes to Danny O'Brien going to WrestleMania, and yes to Danny O'Brien winning the WWE World Heavyweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm going to ask you guys to follow us here at One Wrestling. Is there anything you guys want to say before we close out this WWE Royal Rumble 2015 preview show here at OneWrestling.com?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think you're right about Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. It's just not going to be for the title. It's going to be at WrestleMania. That's going to be the match. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, but it won't be a title match. It'll be a secondary match. It's going to be awesome. And leads me to believe that feud starts tonight. I keep saying tonight. I just want it to be now. It leads me to believe that feud is going to start at the Rumble. So look for Randy Orton to interject himself into that world title match at some point, maybe laying out Seth Rollins. Also, we didn't talk about surprise entrances. Does anybody want to give a pick of who they think the surprise entrances will be? There's rumors of several people. We got the Dudleys, which we spoke about. We got Diamond Dallas Page, who's rumored to come in. RVD, which wouldn't be much of a surprise, but it's always cool, and he's in Philly, and they're gonna love him. You know what I mean? Anybody else?
How about Jake the Snake Roberts?
Is he Kenny? Really?
We don't know. When
he could come in. It wouldn't be for long. I think you got a better shot with DDP coming in.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I don't think Jake's ready for it.
Okay, I think if I pick somebody, it'd probably be somebody who we hadn't seen on television in a long time. I'd say somebody like Mantar.
Nice, that would be awesome.
Or maybe bring back the old Tugboat Thomas gimmick.
Hey,
have him come in as a Shockmaster.
Yes.
Didn't he pass away? Or he's still alive?
No, he's alive.
Oh, good for him.
He's better than us. Who?
All right.
Sting.
I'm telling you, man. Don't be surprised.
Hey, Bastion Booger could come in.
Maybe Gangrel.
Gangrel.
You know what? No joke. That'd be awesome. That song comes on, I'll pop for that.
Yeah.
That was one of the best songs in WWE history.
One of the best entrances in WWE history.
Hell
period.
yeah! If they could recreate that'd be awesome.
You guys keep talking about Randy Orton, and there's a guy who we've all forgotten to mention in this Royal Rumble, and I don't pick him to win, but I pick him to be a spoiler for many a man in that Rumble. And that's going to be Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose and a Randy Orton feud that could be ongoing and just out of this world, just knocking it down week in, week out, month in, month out. They could take that all the way to WrestleMania. I would love to see that. Dean Ambrose is a surprise guy that nobody's been mentioning. Nobody's talked about him industry-wise for the Rumble. Nothing. Nobody's given him any type of shot of being a winner. Obviously, I don't think that he would be the WWE champion. I think one day you'll see him. You got Ziggler's going to be in there. I mean, there's so many different guys that are going to do their magic in that ring. But I think Ambrose is going to be a surprise performer. I think he's going to change a lot of opinions and wake a lot of people up to his talent.
Who gets the most eliminations? Is it Roman Reigns again? They might give that to Roman Reigns again. They might have him eliminate 13 instead of 12.
If the Dudleys come in, I can see the Dudleys taking a lot of guys out.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this right now, WWE. If for any freaking reason, I see a bull, I see a freaking bunny, or I see a freaking rosebud in that damn Royal Rumble, I am going to punch my television and unsubscribe to the WWE Network for just $9.99. So I don't want to see any gimmick. I don't want to see any of those silly gimmicks in that match. A gimmick wrestler? Sure. I mean, I'd crack up if they brought in, let's say, somebody like Mantar. I think it'd be hilarious. But I don't want to see any rabbits, bunnies, no animals, no frogs, no Kermit the Frogs, no puppets. I don't want to see Jerry Springer. I don't want to see freaking Hoda and whatever the hell that other chick is with a glass of wine. I want to see wrestlers. Hoda, whatever the hell her name is. Bring it. Bring it. You know who would get a freaking huge pop? Freaking Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He would get a freaking huge pop. I mean, you know, it's fun.
I think you're going to see a Royal Rumble that we haven't seen in many a moon, where it's going to be a lot of legit, hardcore. I say hardcore, I don't mean blood and guts, but I mean just real wrestlers. And it's just going to be just solid, no shenanigans stuff, just guys just tearing it up.
Time out, dude. I have a really, and we're going to close this out really quickly because we're going long. We're in Philadelphia.
Tommy Dreamer?
Nope. ECW's home. He left in good standings with the WWE. RVD.
Oh, yeah.
RVD will come out. RVD will come out and get a nice little pop. Tommy Dreamer will not.
He's got his own company. He works with TNA. It won't happen.
Yeah, Tommy Dreamer is not. Oh, that would be awesome if you have.
That would be nice.
The genocidal, suicidal, homicidal. I forgot his name. Sabu.
Yeah, if you can keep him from ODing before the show.
Oh my God, that is allegedly, ladies and gentlemen.
Allegedly.
Bill Schuyler does not speak on behalf of OneWrestling.com. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here at OneWrestling.com. Again, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. Guys, I say this every single video I do. I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to follow us here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestling Video. Follow us on Twitter at OneWrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Follow Billy Ray Valentine on Twitter at Billy Ray Hustle. You got the show. Bill Schuyler on Twitter after One Wrestling. Andre Corbeil at Andre_Corbeil. Don't forget the Prof PW Hustle, Professor Quintana, and of course my good friend A-Track Brown, aka on Twitter at the Pharaoh of Fancy. Pharaoh of Fancy, yes. So guys, it's gonna be a really interesting show. Please leave your comments here below. Is there anything you want to say, Billy Ray? You want to say anything before we actually close out the show, really quickly?
Oh, man, I just can't wait for the Royal Rumble, man. You know, it's going to lay out everything else, and if they do it right, it's going to be awesome. And maybe if they do it wrong, it'll still be awesome. So everybody tune in and, you know, leave your comments below. It's going to be great. I can't wait, man.
Bill Schuyler?
Always the best of the year. And for everybody out there, again, positive energy, prayers, however you do it, throw them up for Andre Corbeil. He needs everything he can get, some positive, and all your love. Hit him up on Twitter, say hello, let the guy know that you're out there for him, because he's there for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's going to be an interesting Royal Rumble. I think it's going to be, the match itself is going to be so interesting because there's so many possible people that can go over, so many possible scenarios. Is that a good thing? Please leave your comments here below. And in the words of the main man with the master plan, Mr. Bill Apter himself, guys, we will see you at the matches. Peace.